Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to learn and implement Azure Traffic Manager in a quick and practical way. Now, to save some time and keep this tutorial completely focused on Traffic Manager itself, I have already deployed two Azure web apps in two different Azure regions. We'll quickly review the existing environments and then jump straight into the traffic manager configuration. So let's quickly cover by the end of this video, we'll understand what Azure Traffic Manager is, how to create Traffic Manager profile, how to add Azure App Services endpoints, and how Traffic Manager routes traffic, and how to test failover and endpoint health, and how to verify endpoint routing using nslookup. So, my name is Faz, and let's get started. All right, so before creating anything new, let's quickly review our existing environments. So, uh, if you look at here, you'd see Azure App Services, and you can see I already have deployed two web applications here. The first web application running in region 1, uh, South India, and the second web application is running in region uh, uh, in region Central India. These both applications are hosting exactly the same applications. So let me quickly show you both applications in separate browser that I have already opened. And as you can see, this this is pointing to web app 01, the first one. And if I go to the second one, you on the top left, you see web app -02, which is the second one. So as you can see, both applications are healthy and responding successfully. This setup is important because Traffic Manager requires multiple endpoints to route user traffic according to the selected routing method. So now that our backend application are ready, let's move on to the Traffic Manager. And before jumping into the portal, let me explain Traffic Manager in a very simple way. A lot of people I see confuse Azure Traffic Manager with Azure Load Balancer. Azure Traffic Manager is actually a DNS-based routing service in Azure. This works on layer 4, and it does not sit directly in your data path. Instead, when a user accesses a Traffic Manager DNS name, Traffic Manager evaluates the endpoint health, routing method, geolocations, or like in any performance metrics that you have there. Then Traffic Manager decides and returns the most appropriate endpoint DNS response to the user. So in today's demo, we'll use the performance routing method, which routes users to the endpoint expected to provide the best performance experience. So let's quickly move into the Azure portal, and from search bar, I'll go and search for load balancer, and I'll simply click on load balancers here. Now, left side under DNS load balancing, you see a traffic manager. Let's click on that, and we'll create traffic manager profile. So let's click on create here, and let's provide some details here. So we have the resource group. I'll just pick the one that I want to use for this, and I'll simply use TM. static as the name, and I'll go with the routing method performance. And if I click on the drop down, you have the options to pick according to your need. And rest, I'll go with the default and the location. And now I'll click on review and create. And on the top left, you see running final validation, which has gone successful. So I'll just click on create to start the deployment. And on the top right side, you see initializing, and this has already submitted the deployment. So it's in progress right now. The deployment usually takes only few seconds, and as you can see, this has gone successful. And we'll open the traffic manager profile here. So let's click on go to, okay, let it load. Let's click on go to resources. And all right, so our profile is created now, but this traffic manager as of now does not know where to send the traffic yet. So for that, we need to add endpoints. So let's add endpoint, like first and second endpoints. So here under settings, you see endpoints. Let's click on that, and let's click add to add the endpoints, and we'll simply give name here. So let's add the first web app. Uh, I'll just skip this name, and uh, here you see I'll go with the app service, and target resource you have here, and you see from the drop down you see web app. So I'll just pick the web app, the first one, and I'll click add to add the first endpoint to this. And on the top right side, you see saving traffic manager profile. So once it's done, we'll add the second endpoint to this traffic manager profile. Great, it's added now. Let's move on and add the second one. So I'll just choose here and give two, and cloud services, app service, fine. And target, I'll pick this second one, 02, and I'll hit add to add this second to this traffic manager profile. Okay, let's just wait for a couple of seconds while it gets added to this traffic manager. And on the top right, yeah, you see here it's already added. Great. So now we can see both endpoints added successfully. Traffic manager is now monitoring both applications, right? On and let's move to overview of this traffic manager profile. And one of the first thing we should normally check is endpoint health. uh, so here you can see this brings us back to this here, and the status is enabled. And let's get back to overview again. So here we can see some information about our traffic manager profile, the resource group, subscription, and the ID. The status is enabled, and it's global. And here you see the DNS name, and the monitoring status. Like this is currently checking endpoints, and a routing method that we have selected performance, and we have two endpoints. So we will just wait for a couple of minutes time while it's completing. So I'll just pause and come back when it's completed. All right, so while it's checking the status, let's quickly just have a look what all we have covered so far. So we have covered this what Azure Traffic Manager is, how to create the Traffic Manager profile that we have done, and how to add Azure App Service endpoints that we have configured, and how Traffic Manager routes traffic, and how to test failover and endpoint health, and how to verify endpoints routing using nslookup. So we are going to now perform these three. We'll quickly go ahead and do the check one by one. So let's get back to the portal now. And what we'll do, we'll simply copy this and and so we'll just copy it. And since the traffic manager profile has been configured now, and from user perspective, they do not know which backend application, since we have configured two backend uh, s- uh, uh, they would not know which backend application they are currently hitting or connecting while accessing the application. So this is where our next validation steps become useful. Let's quickly verify routing. Let's open PowerShell, and we'll do nslookup, and we'll paste here the traffic manager that we copied, and and identify which endpoint it's resolving. So we can see here it's web app hyphen one. Uh, so based on the output, I can see the traffic manager is currently directing request to one of our web app endpoint, which is this one, and this is extremely useful when validating DNS-based routing behavior. So let's do a real-world test now. Uh, so, for example, what happens if one endpoint becomes unavailable? Say, for an example, right now it's hitting to this web app hyphen zero one. Say, for example, if it goes down by any chance, so uh, what, what will happen? So let's get back to the traffic manager profile and endpoint, and then disable one one of them temporarily. So the one which is working right now, web app hyphen one, and this is the one that we have endpoint web app hyphen one. So what we'll do, we'll go and disable it. We'll do double click, and here you see on the top right side, enable endpoint. So we'll uncheck it and we'll save that. It's going to take a couple of seconds time, and it should be done. Now we can see the task which is going on, and it's completed now. So now we can see one has been disabled. So let's run the same command again, nslookup, and see how uh, it behaves here. So now we'll go and run the same command. Great. So now notice that Traffic Manager is now returning the second endpoint instead, right? This confirms that Azure Traffic Manager automatically redirect traffic to the healthy application endpoint now. So uh, now let's reopen and refresh the Traffic Manager URL in again, and see how it works. Now let's go back here, and again I'll just enable it, and I'll save that, and just give a couple of seconds. It it's expected to be done in a in few seconds. Yeah, it's done. I'll just refresh it, and it's enabled now. And if I go back to the nslookup again, uh, and run the same command, I can see it's returning the web app hyphen one now. So as expected, the node one is available now, and from the user perspective, everything continues working normally, even though one endpoint was disabled. They'll not notice anything. That's the power of basically the traffic manager. So before we finish, let's look at scenarios where Azure Traffic Manager is commonly used. So you might use for, like, multi-region application deployment, some disaster recovery solutions, application failover, or global traffic distribution to improve the application performance and business continuity plan. So these are some of the most common enterprise use cases you will see in real world Azure environment. So let's quickly recap what we covered today. Let's get back to the PPT here. So we reviewed our existing Azure Web Apps, created Azure Traffic Manager profile, and added two or app service endpoints, used the performance routing method, and tested endpoint resolution using nslookup. So uh, and that's it for today's Azure Traffic Manager tutorial. Hopefully, this gave you a practical understanding of how Azure Traffic Manager works and how easy it is to implement and configure a global, available, and very resilient application architecture in Azure. So if you found this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in next video. Have a good day.